Thanks a bunch for jumping on this evening. I'm just going to share a little info about myself, which I think all of you already know. Just I've worked in neurodiagnostics for 12 years, and this year started my own company, Brain Bio, doing brain scans to aid in concussion management and safe return to play in youth sports, as well as providing scans to aid in the diagnosis and management of mental health, behavioral health, memory loss, and cognitive decline. And I guess I'll just jump right in and kind of share my experience with the LifeVantage supplements and my personal results, and give you kind of the backstory on how I was introduced to the products. In July, I had COVID, and following having COVID, I was experiencing severe brain fog, memory loss, and cognitive decline. And there are three experiences that really stood out to me looking back now. The first was just being on a Zoom call for a work event. And we were just having a normal conversation and going through things, and it was like I had a whiteboard appear in my brain, and I could not remember the topic of discussion. I couldn't complete the sentence that I was saying, and it was incredibly embarrassing. um, and I noticed at that point, this was like probably 4 or 5 days back into kind of feeling better and getting back into things, that happened. And then the second standout thing to me was I was boiling eggs on the stove in our kitchen. And at this time, I had no sense of smell because I lost sense of smell during COVID. And Josiah, which all of you know, came in and he was like, "Hey, mom, did you know you have the stove on?" And I had our gas stove, the burner, just going for like it was like 3.5 hours. So this pot is completely empty. The eggs are black. Josiah is telling me it smells terrible because I've just like fried eggs in a shell that are black now. So that was kind of scary also because I was in the house like walking around doing stuff and working 10 feet from where this is at, and I didn't even remember that I had turned the stove on. And then the third instance, we were out to dinner, and this was kind of like the final thing that I was like, oh my gosh, like something's really wrong. We were out to dinner with a group of like 8 people, and the lady came up and took my order and like, what would you like to drink? And I ordered a drink, and then she went around to the other 7 people. And when she got to the person next to me, I was like, I'll have a la la la. And like, I ordered another drink. And the lady looked at me and was like, "So you want two drinks, or you're changing your drink?" And I was like, "Oh no, I want to switch my drink." And like, quickly tried to like change so it didn't look like I had forgotten in 7 people that what I ordered a minute and a half before. So, um, after that, I was like, "Oh my gosh, something's really wrong." So I had already ran a baseline brain scan on myself in July 1st, actually like 9 days before I tested positive for COVID. And you can see it here. Uh, and so the day after that, I ran another brain scan on myself as a follow up. And you can see that in that the middle image there is my follow-up brain scan, where it says session 2. So this was the 3 weeks post-COVID, and I'm having this terrible brain fog, memory loss, cognitive decline, all this stuff that I'm really noticing. And then I did this, so it was very apparent to me that there was an issue. The red is good. You should have more of that. It's higher voltage. The blue is lower voltage, kind of like your brain's horsepower is what you're looking at. So we want to see more reds and yellows and greens than blues, which after COVID, it had gone really blue. And if you look at like the trail making and brain reaction time, both of those increased. So the goal is really to be in that target range. And the faster you are, the better that your brain's working. It's working faster, stronger, that type of thing. So you can see that I went from 77 or 70 seconds on my baseline to 77 seconds um, when I was having that brain fog. And then on the brain reaction time, I was at 244 milliseconds, and it increased to 272 milliseconds. So 28 milliseconds delay, basically, in what I started out with initially. So after this, I called my cousin, who's a physician's assistant, and I was like, Joe, I've had all this happening, which she knew because I was kind of telling her, and she was like, you need to try Protandim, this NRF1 and NRF2. I have some. She's like, I did the 6-month supply. She had a really hard time taking, she can't swallow large pills. So since she's purchased like a pill cutter so she can take smaller, I guess, doses of it. But she had given me a month supply of the NRF1 to the probiotic and the Omega Plus, and I started taking it the next day. I actually got up the next morning at like 5 a.m. and left for the gym. And even Alan was like, what are you doing? I was like, I'm going to the gym because it scared me looking at this because I have a family history, one of mental illness. My mom has schizophrenia. My grandmother had schizophrenia. So it's something that if I can preserve my brain health, that's like, I'm going to do everything in my power to do that. So I got up the next day. I started going to the gym minimum 3 days a week. And then I added these supplements. And for, I don't know, within the first week, I could tell a complete difference. Like I wasn't having these episodes where I was forgetting everything and all this stuff. And then I just continued taking them. And on the 9th of August is when I took the scans, and they were looking really crummy. So I waited 5 weeks and redid my scans, and you can look at them. I mean, the proof is there. My scans improved beyond my baselines. So I have an improvement in my brain voltage, which is your brain power. You can see how much more red and yellow. That's really what you want. So my brain power had like increased there. My trail making times, they improved, let's see here, 29 seconds. So it went from 77 seconds to 48 seconds, which my baseline scan was at 70 seconds, which is, I mean, it's kind of a tremendous, like it was crazy actually looking at this. I was like, holy cow, this has even helped me beyond when I didn't even realize like my brain was kind of in bad shape, I guess. And then looking at the brain reaction time, it went from 244 milliseconds at my baseline to 272 milliseconds, and then dropped down to 240 milliseconds, which is actually the fastest time that they expect to see within my age range. So after that, I was like, okay, this is significant enough. And I felt better, obviously, on top of seeing my own results, but I felt better daily, remembering things. Like it was just a complete difference. So the really cool part is that I recovered from all this brain fog and all of this stuff. But even in the last week and a half, so 9 days ago, well, actually, I've been able to come off of my Brio, my steroid inhaler completely that I was having to take for allergies, which would get so bad that I sounded like a seal coughing, like pretty much all throughout the year. So I've been able to come off of that completely. And then 9 days ago, I added NAD supplement, which is part of the Tri-Synergy stack. I added that, and I've been taking ADHD medication for 15 years. And honestly, I never thought that I would come off of that and be able to just kind of feel like I'm on top of things, I guess. It's not like I can't function without it, but I definitely like perform better with it. And I didn't think I'd ever be able to come off of it. And I haven't taken it in 8 days because of the NAD supplement. So adding that in, I've been able to, I'm not on any prescription medications or pharmaceuticals at all now. So super exciting because it's all natural and there's just so much research and stuff behind it. So
if you've ever heard of oxidative stress, you probably understand that it is something we can't avoid. something that causes is linked to multitudes of diseases, things like ALS, brain health, cardiac health, Parkinson's, Alzheimer's, cancer, diabetes. Like you could pretty much say any ailment, and there's a correlation to oxidative stress. And so if you want to do a little bit more research on your own, I would encourage you to go to pubmed.gov. It's the National Library of Medicine. We'll talk about it again here in a minute. Or you can simply do a Google Scholar search and type in oxidative stress, and pretty much anything is going to have a relationship right back to it. So in 2015, when I joined this company, I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't know what oxidative stress was. I didn't really know what free radicals were. I was very, very fortunate that my husband had been in the nutrition space since he was about 18 years old. And even though he didn't know what network marketing was, he understood the science behind oxidative stress. So the products that we have are going to align across the body, head to toe, inside and outside, to reducing that oxidative stress. Yes, oxidative stress doesn't just affect us on the inside, it affects us on the outside as well. So our products line up with body care, pain, anti-aging, which is our flagship product we're going to dive into the most tonight, skincare, hair care, gut health, energy, and we even have a product for your dogs and your cats, which essentially is our anti-aging product formulated for a treat for your pups. It actually tastes, well, I don't know what it tastes like. I've never actually ingested it, but it has a bacon, liver, and cheese flavoring to it. So your animals think they're getting a treat. So I mentioned that the environment and the toxins and all the things in our world. You know, I have people, I'm in the bodybuilding space. We used to own gyms, and I'll get this rebuttal. Well, I don't need your product because I eat really healthy. I sleep, I get enough water, I exercise. Those are phenomenal. We should all be doing those things. But unfortunately, even the best routines cannot get on top of the way that our world has shifted. Right? 100 years ago, you guys, our ancestors lived a completely different life. I was talking to my dad the other day, I think he's 63 or 64, and he was just sharing all of the changes in technology that he has been through in his lifetime. I'm like, I've never even thought about that. But because of those changes, because of those shifts, we are inundated with oxidative stress, with free radicals, with toxins, with things that our bodies just can't handle. Right? Our bodies are miracles, the way that they work and the way that they fix things on their own, right? If you get cut, it scabs, it fixes it. But unfortunately, all of these things being thrown at us, we just can't get on top of. So there's this thing called glutathione, and this is where we're going to get a little bit nerdy with you guys. And again, 6 years ago, couldn't pronounce the word. But glutathione has been coined the mother of all antioxidants and the master detoxifier. So if you think about all the crud that's being thrown at us all day long, including, I mean, even water. Right now I have Axio in my water right now, but even water changes the cells inside of your body, and it's good for you. We need water to live. But unfortunately, there's so many things that we have no control of, unless you live in like a little bubble, right? Right there, what was that movie, The Bubble Boy or something, many, many years ago? Unless you truly live in that, or live in a petri dish, you can't get away from all of these things. So what Protandim does, and that's the flagship product that Elisa referred to earlier, is it actually raises our glutathione levels by 300%. So again, you guys can do a quick search on glutathione. You can see all of the things it's linked to. Low glutathione levels, again, just like oxidative stress, are linked to hundreds, if not thousands, of diseases and ailments. So Protandim Nrf2, this is our baby. This is what got us that big breakthrough with ABC News. And it's made up of 5 combined herbs. And then I'll tell you that I get the next rebuttal. Well, I already take those herbs. That's fantastic. Again, always good. Milk thistle, green tea, turmeric, bacopa, and ashwagandha. Now, I had heard of a few of those 6 years ago, but not all of them. But what I've learned is by taking one tablet, one Protandim, it's actually about 1,800% more effective than if you were to go out and buy all 5 herbs and take them differently. That's that synergistic nature. When you combine all 3 Protandims, it's got an even bigger uptake in what these products will do inside of your body. Now, these aren't like miracle products. What they do is they get the body to work the way that it's supposed to. It reverses cellular damage. It reverses and our aging and all the effects that come with that. We have 7 US patents, and I think we're up to like 13 international patents. I mentioned pubmed.gov. You guys, if you go there and you type in the word Protandim, you're going to see over 30 peer-reviewed research studies. And I guarantee that's why Elisa is able to put her name to this, because there's actual backing. These people, these universities like Harvard, the American Heart Association, the National Institute of Health, they have all gone out and done their own research, funded and time of their own to research this product. Because when ABC announced that, when ABC did that primetime report, they were like, what is this product and how in the world is it making these claims? So again, it's proven to lower our oxidative stress linked to thousands of diseases on average over 40% in 30 days. Now, again, guys, we're not here to make claims. We're not going to tell you this will cure XYZ, this will get rid of XYZ. But what we can tell you is our personal stories. I've suffered from migraines since the age of 14. And at 31 years old, I had just accepted that that was a way of life. I didn't know when they would come on. There was no rhyme or reason. I did all the food journals. I did all the things, and I had taken God knows how many prescriptions to try to get rid of them or to minimize them, and nothing worked. I started taking Protandim October of 2015. And after 30 days, I realized I hadn't had a migraine. I didn't start taking this product directly for my migraines. I heard better sleep, better energy, better mood. Sign me up. I was exhausted at 31 as a gym manager. And after I realized that, I decided I was going to try this out, and I weaned myself off of my prescription medication. 60 days later, because this was a potent prescription that I was not allowed to just stop taking, I realized I still haven't had a migraine. Guys, the last time I took that prescription med was January of 2016. And I'm sitting here telling you at 37 years old, I've still not had a migraine. So I'm not telling you, again, this will cure XYZ, but we have a Facebook group that Elisa can invite you to that has about 40,000 people in it and a ton of stories on any ailment you can probably even think of. Even the most rare ones, I put it to the test. I go in there and I search and we find different things about it.